Rookie draft season is upon us, and one of the players that is not being talked about enough is Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin. John, there is a lot of talent in this class, but we were going to waste no time dropping the Troy Franklin rookie profile because we are in agreement. There needs to be way more love coming his way. Without further ado, John, let's get into Troy Franklin.
Let's start the hype train. Before we record, Matt and I were talking, and we said he has a little bit of Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper in him. And folks, you got to watch the tape. Troy Franklin's going to be a legitimate NFL fantasy stud, and I don't know why people aren't talking about it. Last year, 81 catches for 1,383 yards, 14 touchdowns, averaging 17.1 yards per catch. He was first team All Pac-12 and second team All America. He logged over 100 yards receiving 8 times, and he caught a pass in 30 straight games to end his campus tenure as a Duck. And even the season before, Matt, in 2022, we did a Devy profile on him. He was coming off a season in which he had 61 receptions, 891 yards, and 9 touchdowns, averaging 14.6 yards per catch. He was second team All Pac-12, and his 9 touchdowns tied for the Pac-12 lead. And in 2021, he was 18 receptions for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 11.6 yards per catch. And he played in all 14 games as a true freshman. Matt, he was on the field immediately. And as a high school recruit, he was a 4-star prospect and number 3 wide receiver in the nation. During his career, he had scored 25 times on 160 career receptions. Matt, I love Troy Franklin. What does your film study say?
Yeah, I got to tell you, John, from the moment that I turned on Troy Franklin tape doing summer scouting, I said, this is going to be my guy. Like it was evident right off the bat. He checks a lot of boxes. John, you know we do good work. We do good work scouting the running backs. We do good work scouting the quarterbacks, the tight ends. But I got to tell you, man, the wide receiver position is really where the rookie big board has consistently found success. And Troy Franklin's got it. He's got that rookie big board it factor. So let's get into it here. The speed, John, the speed jumps out right off the bat. He burns defenders working downfield. You want a deep ball threat? Troy Franklin, boom, check that box. He's quick, John. He's quick off the line of scrimmage. He was shredding off coverage, right? He didn't see a ton of man. You don't see a ton of man playing in the Pac-12, but when he did, he was effective against it. He's a smooth athlete, John, and you mentioned it here, shades of Devonta Smith, and we don't just throw that out there, but he's athletic and he knows how to use his size. He's listed 6'3", 187. He's got a smaller frame because of his height. He looks thinner. It's not a problem for it. He knows the angles to work, John. He knows how to use his feet to separate, and he's got steady hands. Larger than expected catch radius paired up with that. Now, he is rarely in contested catch situations, but when he is, John, I think he works just fine. Again, giving that size profile. I love the route running here with Troy Franklin. He'll win with the post in the deep field. But, John, you know I love when the wide receiver can cut a slant. And Troy Franklin can cut a slant. He could get that separation right off the line of scrimmage. And if he gets a step on a defensive back, boom, gone, touchdown. You could watch his film. It happens over and over again. And he runs a really effective deep curl. Defensive backs, they got to play off of him, right, to respect that speed, and he'll take advantage of it. Watch Troy Franklin catch the ball. You will very rarely see a defensive back near him. 2 steps, 3 steps, whether it's short, mid, or deep field. He is consistently separating, and that, John, that translates for NFL success, and it translates for fantasy football success. And after the catch, John, just as dangerous, like I mentioned, he could break defenders in space, and he's hard to chase down. So he checks all the boxes, John, when it comes to the film review. And before we see if he checks those stat boxes, I got to point out, John, patreon.com/rookiebigboard, that checks a lot of boxes. We got rankings for you. We got the 2024 draft guide. We got personalized insight and advice in the Rookie Big Board Discord. Check, check, check. And John, for this year, a new special resource. It is a bonus rookie profile for our patrons each and every week. Some of the guys, John, that we feel are sleeper targets, right? And we're going to start with Arizona's Jacob Cowing this week. So make sure you head on over to patreon.com/rookiebigboard to get ahead of your league mates and get access to all of those great resources. So with that being said, John, the stats, take us through them. Are we checking more boxes here?
Oh, we're checking every box. And I have to say one thing. Images of Garrett Wilson run through my head when I watch Troy Franklin. Matt, I said it 3 years, or was it 3 years ago now? His Garrett Wilson second level separation. I said, I have never seen a man so wide open 20 yards deep. Now, we thought it might have been Ohio State team, but I said, he's special. Troy Franklin is so close. I'm not saying he's Garrett Wilson, but man, when you watch the film, Troy Franklin's wide open 20 yards down the field, and that translates, that separation deep, Matt, and you plug the numbers in. 160 career receptions, love it. 15.5 yards per reception. 70% catch rate, Matt. 31% aerial dominator. Even his ADOT, 12.9. He literally checks every box in my model. The only concern, and I've gotten over this, Matt, I'm not worried about 187. That's big enough. Like, he's fine. If anyone tells you he's 6'3", so he looks thinner than he actually is. And Matt, we said this over the summer. He doesn't take a lot of big hits. That is a skill. I learned it with Barry Sanders, and I've gone back to watch tape. This is going to sound crazy. Of the Steelers in the 70s. I've been watching a lot of old-time football. Franco Harris never took a pop. And you don't see Troy Franklin getting ripped apart because he's got this ability to avoid the big hits. I love him, Matt. What's your fantasy fans say? No.
Nobody else will ever hear Troy Franklin and Franco Harris mentioned in the same sentence. All right. Nobody does it. Nobody does it like the Rookie Big Board here. So let's put it into translation. Let's talk about that fantasy football NFL draft projection here. I think Troy Franklin is going to go relatively early, that 21 to 50 overall range, day one late to day two mid. That's juicy draft capital, John, especially in this class where there's a lot of wide receiver talent. Getting into that back end of the first round, especially, that's going to be really exciting for Troy Franklin. And we talk about it all the time. It could be more beneficial for a wide receiver to go pick 28 to a really nice offense than pick 12 to an offense that's not going to be as successful, isn't as in rhythm. So, we could be talking about Troy Franklin to the Kansas City Chiefs, right? The Buffalo Bills. Like, there's some good passing offenses that would love to add Troy Franklin to them. In terms of ADP projection, John, I think if the draft happened, if a rookie drafts happen today, I think Troy Franklin would fall to the second round of a lot of Superflex rookie drafts. I don't think that's going to happen by the time the combine gets there, by the time we see his NFL draft capital. I think folks are going to start catching on to the feeling, the excitement that we have for Troy Franklin. So I think he's going to be a back end of the first round. 108 to 112. And I got to tell you, John, if I'm drafting in the back end of the first round, I'm going to get Troy Franklin a lot. He is a perfect addition to your roster as a weekly starter. He's going to plug in, into that wide receiver 2 slot, into that flex spot in your fantasy football lineup, and he's going to contribute right away. He's going to produce at a high level. In terms of a value comparison there, I'm going to put like a DJ Moore type, right? I don't know if Troy Franklin will ever be the wide receiver 1 overall, right? I don't know that he'll ever be a consistent top 10 overall fantasy football wide receiver. But what I do feel confident in saying, John, is he's going to consistently produce as a wide receiver 2. He's going to have some wide receiver 1 weeks, right? And that's kind of giving that DJ Moore type vibe when it comes to Troy Franklin here. So there is a lot to like about this guy. He is flying under the radar, but absolutely not under the radar with the Rookie Big Board, John. You're going to want to make sure you head on over to patreon.com/rookiebigboard to get access again to those rankings, to the personalized advice in the Rookie Big Board Discord, to the rookie guide, to the bonus rookie profile, John. So much good stuff coming your way. So make sure you're subscribed, whether you're listening or whether you're watching. We appreciate you checking out this Fantasy Football Rookie Profile.